Hello, good morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful day on the Bumper Breakfast Show. It's a Thursday morning. I must tell you, we're so excited. There's a little bit of something we've been discussing right here. If you were privy to the discussion, I'm sure you'll be having a good laugh right now. But my name is Tommy Soja. We do this every morning from the hour of 8 all the way till 10. So there is a lot in store for you today. Today we're going to be talking about youth. We're going to be talking about the environment. We're going to be talking education. We're still going to be looking at one particular issue that I'm sure a lot of people would say: when love turns violent. Yeah, we all want to fall in love. Yes. We all, look at love from different perspectives. Some with a rose-colored glasses, and some with their eyes. They say they shine their eyes very well. But whichever it is that you do when it comes to love, when it turns violent, what do? You can begin to send your answers, your community reports, those issues happening in your environment, your road, your power, your transformer, and all those other issues to the number that we usually use for the show. That's 08064738133. And let's get to talk about some of these issues. All right, looking at the papers this morning, we have about 4 papers we'll be looking at quickly. And joining us on the show, on the discussion this morning, is Azim Olatimeji. Hi, Azim. Good morning. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Really, it's been a while. I think the last time we had you on the show, we were talking about love too.
Yeah.
And we're talking about singlehood and single mothers. Would you marry a girl raised by a single mother? I remember that topic.
Yes, I took my position firmly.
Yes, you took your position firmly and you said, no, I am not doing it. All right, we have the Guardian newspaper this morning. I'm looking at the banner headline: controversy as Buhari sacks Oshibajo's aides. No Cold War in Aso Rock presidency. It says Vice President Yemi Oshibajo chaired the Federal Executive Council meeting yesterday on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, who obviously was on his private visit to London. But the duty, however, did lead to douse the speculations that relations between him and his principal have hit a all-time low. This was according to the online reports that Buhari approved the sacking of at least 35 of the over 80 aides in the vice president's office. The aides said to have been issued appointment letters in August included senior special assistants, personal assistants, and technical assistants. The president had previously asked Oshibajo to seek presidential approval for agencies under his supervision and had moved the National Social Investment Program from the vice president office to a new ministry. Besides, the economic management team, chaired by the vice president, has since been replaced with an economic advisory council. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's laced with a lot of coloration. But we always want to look at it from the political angle. From that report, if you had read further,
Yes.
it was said that these aides were appointed when the vice president was acting in the capacity of the president. And then since the president's arrival, this aid still remain, and it amounts to duplication of functions.
Yes.
And, leading to wastage of scarce resources. So it is on that note that they need to terminate their appointment.
Yes.
But then the timing, has brought into the fore the political dimension of the issue. This is coming when the NSIP was taken away from the
vice president's office, yes.
And then the recent visit of Muhammad Buhari without handing over to the vice president, followed by this the sack, of
his aides.
So we must not dispute the political, angle of it. All of these have, a long-term effect. They are not doing all of this because of 2019 or 2020. If we must look at it from the political angle, then we must be looking at 2023 beyond. It's a must that if we.
So you're saying that all of these things, despite the fact that there are administrative reasons, they have a political undertone.
Of course.
Okay.
If you look very well, you will see that before May 2019, Vice President Osinbajo happens to be in the history of Nigeria since 1999 one of the most prominent, most famous, most pronounced Vice President
we have ever had.
we ever had. And if that tempo continues, we might most likely have the first, Vice President that will become president of Nigeria, with the exception of
good luck,
Jonathan's,
circumstance.
circumstance.
A circumstance being the real world there. All right, let's look at the banner headline of the Nigerian Tribune. And 3 years after rejection, social media bill returns to the Senate.
Yeah, one thing that is most interesting is the speed.
Yes.
Which this bill, took, and then it is not also surprising because most of our politicians now are now being haunted with social media. And they feel threatened. They are getting more exposed every day by day, and it is a must for them if they must retain that power legitimately or such that is illegitimate. They need to, address the issue. But then I am looking into the enforceability of
that's a key word.
If the bill later became law, what is the enforceability of social media? We have platforms.
But you see, offenders risk 3 years imprisonment, 150,000 naira fine. Media houses may be fined 10 million naira. Proposes 14-year jail term for sex offenders. Probe alleged extrajudicial killings at the borders by customs. So those are some of the issues before the Senate.
Interesting one, especially that of the media. It's while I feel that the media should not be manipulated, should not be, gagged or controlled by the domineering spirit of the government. I still feel that there should be some sort of decorum,
Sense of
responsibility in our media houses. If we go this way without regulation, we might.
Do you think there is need for regulation in the first place?
I think there is a need for regulation because the media cannot be left, open to just charlatans and because recently since 2015 somebody carried out this, a study that but I'm going to protect the the name of the media which he used as a case study. That for every about 30 or 35% of the reports
that they bring up,
that is about it's either a disclaimer or an apology. For
I know the media you're talking about.
Okay.
I've also been following them.
Okay, for what they are published. So it means that we are leading towards using media as a form or instrument to anarchy. So government needs to enforce some kind of decorum, into our media spaces. So it's very, very important. Very recently, not one, not two, not three. You have apology, and all
An
that.
apology.
So, our investigative journalism is very poor in Nigeria. We are always with that hasty of generalization without, looking into details, looking into content. And then the media also, despite the fact that bringing in private media houses to, address the issue of government gagging and trying to censor opinion. Even at that, the private media had compounded,
The issues.
the issue more. They are expected to liberate the media and political communication. But what we have seen now is that most of them, with the exception of very few, have become stooge, of our politicians. And some of them don't even do it with decorum. They do it publicly.
Yes. One of the issues I'd like us to talk about is the 14-year jail term for sex offenders, which is also before the Senate. Bless you, please. Which is also before the Senate. Do you think a 14-year jail term is adequate enough? Looking at the rate, the number of offenders that we have, the number of cases, the popularity of some of these cases, minors being abused every day, do you think a 14-year jail term is enough to curb such when we are looking at a death sentence in some states of Nigeria for kidnappers?
Yeah, I think our punitive system, it's somewhat not good enough as far as I'm concerned. The jail term or whatever is not about the numbers of the years.
Okay.
The intention of a punitive system is deterrence, to deter people from committing, such kind of offense. So what we should be discussing or arguing is, can 14 years imprisonment deter, Nigerians? But it's even at 14 years or even a life sentence, the challenge of the Nigeria punitive system and even justice system still boils down into enforcement, impunity, and lack of constitutional rule. The fact that we still have people that, perpetrate this crime and then they get away from it. And don't forget that we still also have some kind of culture that subtly, support this challenge. So for me, I think whether 14 years or 12 years or 10 years or 5 years, the whole essence of a punitive system is to make deterrence. So 14 years imprisonment should deter a reasonable and sensible person. If somebody cannot be deterred from committing a crime with 14 years, I don't think, a life imprisonment will deter such a person. But then government need to, ensure that the enforcement of this is very, 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 considered. The enforcement.
The enforcement.
The challenge is really the enforcement
of this kind of laws.
Enforce it adequately.
All right, one of the issues that we may look at in the Punch newspaper this morning, although there are several issues that I'd like to shine the light on, but I'm a little bit confused.
Don't.
Another judge has ordered Showore's release from DSS custody. Showore has been released from DSS custody again and again and then again. Yes. But the conditions have not wavered. What do you think is happening here?
Yeah, for every circumstance like this, there is always conditions for bail.
Yes, definitely.
So that the accused don't, jump bail or don't scot.
Okay.
What baffles me is different from what baffles you.
Okay.
What baffles me is the fact that Ishore will still be in jail till now, or will still be in prison or wherever he is till now, on the account that there is a condition of bail that cannot be met, despite, the pronouncement of the revolution now and the alacrity that Nigerians, gave it. I would expect that even if it is 13 naira or 20 naira that these people had contributed, each ought to have,
gotten out of that place,
or perhaps a civil servant or whoever. Are we saying that we don't have part of his, supporters who have the capacity, to meet this bail condition?
Yes.
So what baffles me is it's not really whatever condition that has been put upon, his freedom, but the fact that despite the fact that we all are clamoring for revolution and giving him such a public support, despite all of this, he still kept. And if not for Femi Falana, nobody is talking about it again.
I'm just wondering where all the supporters went to. I'm wondering where no patron, nobody.
I'm wondering too.
They wondering too.
You know, so it explains that.
People pay a lot of lip service, you know.
And then we are not really ready for a genuine revolution. You know, if the leader of the vanguard is somewhere, and the government has given the opportunity for his followers to
take him out.
And yet nobody.
Because what we're talking about, when this was in public domain and we're really talking about it, was the fact that it wasn't granted bail.
Yes.
And finally it was granted
It was
bail.
granted.
And then we said the conditions were too stringent, and so the conditions were reduced.
Even at that.
And even at that. Okay. All right, let's just take
So
one
in
more.
Nigeria, whatever you are doing, you are on your own.
That's what they call Oyo. That's Oyo State, mind
Oyo,
you.
Oyo.
And Oyo happens to be in the news today because another 90 inmates were rescued from another rehab so-called center. Illegal rehabilitation or illegal correctional center.
Funny enough, I was
256 90.
Funny enough, I was leaving my house to the office when we saw in Ibadan, and we saw all of these policemen were out, and we were like, what's happening in this morning? Later in the day we found that in the news that some were had been in the so-called correctional service and they were freed. It's unfortunate and alarming that the insecurity we are talking about in Nigeria is as though we have little understanding of the level of insecurity in Nigeria. We need to begin to look into local, community security system.
Because those people have been there.
Yes.
And
we have hundreds of something like this, even around our areas.
You're saying between 2 weeks, 2 were discovered in Ibadan, just Ibadan, in 2 weeks.
Don't forget the Soka saga some years
Yes.
back and all that. So I think government should do a lot of
More.
research.
I think every street, every village, every center, every religious home, every religious organization needs to be combed.
In Ibadan, and
Not just in Ibadan, all over the country.
More unfortunate, because I still is that they still have in Ibadan, we still have this kind of primordial cultural values. And I think that's one of the problems, that is one of the challenges, affecting development in that area with regards to security. So I think that the Oyo State government should support, the federal government in ensuring that community policing system is adequate, not just only in Ibadan, everywhere in Oyo State, not just only in Oyo State,
But all over the country. All over the country. All right, that's going to be hit on headlines this morning. We'll just take a quick break. When we come back, Azim will still be talking to me about youths and good governance. Where exactly are we, and where should we be going? We'll be back.
Everything we do in life has to do with what we intend to become. There are challenges and there are challenges. Join me every Thursday 9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on My Success Story, where we share the life experience of distinguished and notable personalities who went through thick and thin before achieving their success. For participation, sponsorship and advert placement, please contact the numbers shown on the screen. My Success Story, where entrepreneurs are celebrated. We definitely can't do without food and drinks. Tasteboard is a cook, drink and healthy lifestyle show, showcasing the preparation of easy meals and cocktails as well as discussing healthy lifestyle tips. On Tasteboard, we teach you how to prepare mouth-watering meals, dining on a budget, preparing delicious meals from leftovers, showing you kitchen tricks and healthy lifestyle tips. Join me on MITV every Saturdays from 8:30 to 9 p.m. For sponsorship and advert placement, please contact the numbers showing on your screen. Taste Boy, pleasing to taste.
All right, welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast Show. Remember, we were talking about certain issues that are pertain to youths. Majority of the people who have been rescued from all of the rehab centers or or correctional centers all over the country, majority of them are young people under the age of 30. And then we are looking at, improving the lot of young people around here. Try as much as possible to join in the conversation this morning. Send us messages and send us your WhatsApp messages, SMS to the number 08064738133. Let's talk together. Let's join hands and look at good governance in Nigerian youths. Azim is still here?
Yeah. Bro.
Azim, Ekworen.
How are you?
All right. Azim is still here with me, and this morning we're basically looking at how can we get good governance, and how do we plug in the youths? I'll give you a little bit of background. Not Too Young to Run bill, just in March last year, was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. Yes. It was celebrated all over the country. It was celebrated all over Africa, yes, all over the world. We made a lot of noise about it. 5,000 youths were able to come together and approach the presidency and get that done. Yes. Now, after that, it became Not Too Young to Run became something like Too Young to Serve or whatever, and then people started running around.
Not Too Young to Serve.
Not Too Young to Serve, and then they went from Not Too Young to Serve, and they wanted to say, okay, let's begin to vie for positions. Ages were reduced. 25-year-old can contest for elections. Our presidency can come as low as 40-year-old. And we had a lot of people contest. One of them is Omoyele Sowore. Another one of them is Fela Durotoye. Another one of them was this man that used to be in CBN. So we had quite a number of people actually come out to say, we are interested in voting. Interesting to note, not all of them put together didn't get 50,000 votes in that election. Yes. All of them put together didn't. and we are still looking at good governance, the positioning of the Nigerian youth. So why do you think it looks as if no matter what we do, we only can smell it? We can get there.
Yeah, I think I have a very different perspective to that. You know, this conversation will make a sense only because we look into the national space. The not too young to run bill, for me, it has been well supportive to the youth in Nigeria. For example, in Oyo State Assembly, we have the Speaker, who is now a bit older than 30 years old. And then we also have as one of the members in Oyo State that is, much more like about 25 or 26 or 27 years old. I'm not so certain in specific. Just recently in Kwara State, we have a lady of 25 years old that was appointed commissioner, and then we've been having
appointments. I know Oyo State had their own as well.
The Speaker of Oyo State is a little bit above 30, I think 31 or 32. Even in Oyo State, we have a
commissioner.
We have a 26 years old as member of
the House of Assembly.
The son of that popular Fuji musician, Tai Currency. Yeah, his son is, is a member.
Oyo State, he's a member of the House of Assembly.
House of Assembly in Oyo State. So, this one of the effects of and if you look at it in Kwara State, a chunk of the appointed positions are not just for the young. Most of it are centered to the women. So I think we should not focus on the national space alone. We should, if we look critically at the local governance system, we will see more of the pronouncement of youth, the visibility
of young people,
of young people being included in the governance system. But then the 2019 presidential election, gives us a kind of concern, the result. Just like you have mentioned, that despite the fact that we are clamoring, we are talking about not too young to run, not too young to serve, and all of that. The three of Magalu, Durotoye, Omoyele, they could not, boast of 100,000 votes. In a society where about 65 population are, young people. So does that mean that we do not appreciate ourselves? We do not believe in ourselves? As far as I'm concerned, I think there is no symmetric relationship between good governance and age. As far as I'm concerned, that's my own perception. And then comparatively, if you look at these democracies that we adopt or we wholesale, in Nigeria, America, Britain, France, the average, I think it was Toriano that made, conducted the research about why. I think the theme of the research is, must you be young to rule or whatever? And then they came out with the findings that about the average parliamentarians in the UK, in Europe, is 62 years old, average. In the US, 58 years old. So,
but they have young people. They have young people. In fact, they have majority of them as Nigerians. Majority of the young
And
people
they have
Nigerian
they
descent.
have young people.
Yes.
Most especially.
They're just very much in the minority.
Most especially at the local governance system. You know. So we are not alone in this. You know, even the democracies that we all say that we want to, you know, copy and paste here, they are also not different
from what we have.
You know, to us. So we need to, our youth need not to be overambitious. The political economy of Nigeria does not even, and it does not even suggest that a person of 30, 40 years old can become president on his own, independently. It is not possible with the political economy that we have at the moment. So it is not possible. Imagine on the day of election, imagine the numbers of the agents of the APC, of the PDP, in a local government, in a state, across the nation. How do you get these volunteers?
But we have the numbers in young people. It's just, are you saying that, is it a matter of we're not ready, or we're not even ready for that kind of assignment because they're not going to be paid for it? Because this is volunteer. You use the word volunteer, that's all.
No, volunteering in Nigeria is a scope. Yes.
It's a scope.
No, I'm talking about practical politics.
Yes.
Volunteering in Nigeria is a scope. And so, you know, somebody can, you know, and it has become a mechanism to access employment and employment. Especially, you know, most youth now, you know, does it. In an organization like this, you know, somebody can submit an application. I want to be a volunteer. Understanding that
over time,
it's going to get, you know,
employment.
So it's a just.
And you know, when you mentor young people, you actually do tell them. I tell a couple of my mentees right now, even though they're still in secondary school, to go volunteer. And you're telling me now it's a scope.
You are giving them a scope.
So I'm already giving them the scope.
You are giving them a scope for employment, because you would not be. I would not be a volunteer in the organization.
Yes.
And when there is an opportunity for employment, you're going to get somebody from the outside. I already have the experience. I'm already.
Why would I want to retrain somebody coming from outside when I already have someone like you who is an insider, who has experience and who have not been paying?
You understand. So, but the political volunteering comes with money. You understand? And no persons, very little or very minute youth will want to do that for free. Now, for those who would want to do that for free, they can only be motivated if they see the possibility that this person is going to win. So I can do a volunteering for free, pro bono, for APC or PDP, without pay, without expecting, because I know that there's a possibility
that they will win.
And even if they do not win, there's a possibility that I can be fixed somewhere. But the average Nigerian youth think that, why will I volunteer for free to somebody who does not even have 2% chances
of winning at all?
So it's going to be, to them, baseless, you know, and it's not, you know, palatable to them.
And that's why
not knowing that, if we all wear that mindset that let's do this for free, we will have everybody
on board.
Yes, we will have everybody on board. But the fact that nobody wants to do anything in Nigeria now
for free.
So if you want to talk about the lack of political inclusiveness of Nigerian youth, we must adopt a political economy approach. to understand that complexity. The economy determines political thought. So I perceive the challenge of Nigerian youths. They all want, everybody are in the race to survival. So they should not be blamed because the government has structured the environment in such a manner that if you are not rich or if you are not comfortable economically, you cannot germinate. You will suffocate. So,
In the political space.
beyond the political space, even in your private life, how do we explain the effect of impunity? Impunity is done against those with low economic status and class. Impunity is not done against the economically elite class. If we are talking about injustices, it's done against two. And that's why, a philosopher, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, argued that economic equality should not be emphasized because it will lead to political inequality. Once people lack access to basic economic needs, it affects every part of their social life. So the structure of Nigeria today maintains that if you do not have an economic power, you have lost it. In fact, you have lost your spiritual and religious power.
Azim, thank you so much for this conversation. So if you do not have economic power, you have lost your spiritual.
You lost it.
And what else? Religious power.
You lost it.
Pleasure having you on the show. We need to have this conversation again. And I think when we're having this conversation again, we should begin to look at how to prepare Nigerian youths for political inclusiveness. You've given them a tip today, start volunteering.
Yeah.
Let's look at other things. Next time we're having this conversation. But a quick break will do. When we come back, it's time for Community Report. A few things are being sent already. We quickly look at that and then we'll go on another break.